What is happening, everybody? My name is Beth, and welcome back to Every Day is Spooktober. Today's video, we are doing a review of... I don't know why I'm doing drum roll when you already know from the title and the thumbnail. We are doing Halloween H20, which stands for Halloween 20 Years Later. I feel like people are going to come at me because they're like, you haven't seen Amityville, you can't be a true horror fan. Like, I'm sorry, I tried it out, my last video, and then they're gonna be like, you haven't seen this film, have you not? There is a lot of Halloween films, can I just say, that, in my opinion, obviously Halloween is a classic. I will not disagree with that, but it is very similar plot lines and storylines in these films that it's hard to keep track of which I've seen and which I haven't. I've seen the original Halloween, I've seen Halloween 2, I've seen Halloween the Season of the Witch, I've seen Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, I've seen Halloween 5, The Revenge, now seen H2O, I've seen obviously the new trilogy, the 2018 one. I still am waiting to see Halloween Ends. But yeah, there's a lot of these films, and as much as it's a classic, it also needs to end. So I'm just going to give you my review of what I thought of Halloween H2O. I was aware of this film. I've been aware of this film for a while. I've known what it's about because things like this don't stay on the down low, do they? But yeah, I knew sort of what was going to be happening. I knew what to expect. And all I'm going to say is I'm so disappointed with this film. I really am. Like, it's so good to have Laurie back. It's so good to see her because obviously we did 2 films with her and then they continued making more and Laurie wasn't involved in those and it was completely different characters and stories. So it was really, I was like quite excited because I thought it's 20 years after Laurie's been, been through all this. Like, she's got to be dealing with some shit. She's got to be, struggling in some kind of way. So I was intrigued to see how they were going to do it because obviously, it's been 20 years. Where is she at now? So I think the concept is a great idea for sure. And I think it's good that they obviously took a break from Laurie and then we've come back to her in this film. The premise of this is that Laurie is using a different name and she's a dean at a private high school. She has a son, she's using a fake identity, and Michael Myers is back. I think a lot of people think so strongly about the Halloween films because of just the premise of it and because it's a classic, especially obviously the original. I completely agree, however, this just was not, in my opinion, this was very, very weak. The film obviously explored where she's at now. She's obviously a functioning alcoholic. She's got a son. The husband isn't in her life anymore. We don't obviously, talk about who that is, or we know who that is. And yeah, I don't know. I think just the story was super underdeveloped. And I believe the film was like an hour and 20 or something around that. And I just thought it was so short. Like, it was over before we even got into it. And I think that's what was so upsetting about it. I wish there was more sort of backstory as to how Laurie has coped, and we saw flashbacks or some kind of imagery as to where she is in life and how she's doing. Obviously we see that she's seeing and one of the other people that work at the school, and her son's a teenager and he's got his own girlfriend and friends, and we explore his life. But it's we've just focused the past few films after Halloween 1 and 2 on completely different characters. Why is most of the story based on her son? In my opinion, I don't care about the son. I want to see her. I want to see what she's like and how she's doing. And if I'm quite honest, where they sort of set her in life, I didn't really expect her to be a dean at school and, being quite successful. I think being an alcoholic is, I mean, I already knew she was an alcoholic from what people had said about the film before I'd seen it. But I think her being an alcoholic is fitting but I think, like, I don't know, it didn't really explore her trauma that much, and I thought that that's what this was going to be, and unfortunately it wasn't, which really sucked. And instead we like focus on the son and his friends like dying, and like they die so quickly, and like we need some good deaths in a Halloween film. I think we need some really good deaths, and I mean Halloween 1 does it great, and unfortunately they were quite simple, basic, straight, like quick, whatever. You know, I think it was kind of good towards the end though, where we do have like that face off, and Laurie's like, you know, Michael, come here, I'm gonna come and kill you, like I'm gonna get you this time, like don't come after my son. I did like that towards the end. However, I think the way that it ended was really weak. You know he's coming back at some point, and oh, let me go and check if he's dead, and then someone drags, you know, they drag Laurie away from the body, and they're like, no, he's fine, like, he's dead, and you know he's not dead, and that bugs me so much. I know he keeps coming back, I know this guy is, like, invincible, but it always happens, and it's so annoying. It's like, just really kill him for once, like, kill him and make it seem like he's actually dead. Don't just, like, throw him over a balcony and be like, yeah, he's good, because he's not. And Laurie knows that. I didn't think it would have been set at this private school at all. I didn't think that at all. And I didn't really think that she would have had a son. Because, you know, my number one thought there is she knows how bad Michael is and what she's lived through in the trauma. It's really shocking to me that she's had a child and brought them into this world, because you're essentially putting them at risk. And in the film, a lot of the film has to do with her, you know, not her overprotecting her son and not wanting him to go out and do things. And it's like, it was a weird concept to me that they gave her a son. I just kind of wish that they didn't, because then they could have focused more on her as a character, and I think that's what it was missing. I don't know what happens in Halloween Resurrections one after this, so maybe some of my wants, needs, questions about this film are answered in that one. I don't know yet because I haven't seen it. I hope to soon though, just to kind of, you just gotta find out what happens. Obviously Michael never dies, but I just want to know what sort of happens with Laurie, you know, because she has a very drawn out story arc throughout this entire franchise. Like, it's, you know, it's still going to this day. So yeah, those are just my overall thoughts. I was, like I said, I was disappointed. I think this is one of the weaker Halloween films in my opinion. I don't think it did massively well. I think on IMDb it has like a 5-6 out of 10. And I kind of agree with that, although I think I might rate it a bit lower. Don't come for me, I'm so sorry. It just didn't do it for me. It was too short. They didn't develop Laurie enough. We didn't learn enough about her. We focused on completely different characters, which was really, like, annoying, because I don't care about these new characters that we've just met. I care about the woman that's just been going through trauma for the past few movies. So I think I would give this film a 4.5 out of 10. Like I said, I think from what I've seen so far from the franchise, it's one of the weakest. However, Halloween Kills is the worst one, so it's not as bad as Halloween Kills, that's for sure. That's just how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. Don't get me wrong, it was nice to see a Halloween film that I hadn't seen before. It was definitely getting me in the mood for Halloween in October and fall and everything, so that was nice about it. I did enjoy that aspect. And obviously the Halloween tune coming on and Michael being a freaking weirdo. Yes, we love Michael. I literally have a picture of him behind that candle right there, so when I go to sleep he watches me. My overall thoughts, I would like to know what other people thought about this, because I know there's some people that love it because they love the Halloween franchise. I don't love the Halloween franchise. I think it's a classic for sure, and I think it's inspired so many, and the original is the best. However, I think I know they are I don't think they are stopping with Halloween, but this new segment is now coming to an end, and I think they just need to stop with it. Jamie Lee Curtis has come to her end with this. I believe she I believe she like established that in an interview when she was sort of promoting this final film, Halloween Ends. So yeah, this is obviously it's the last sort of story of her. Are they going to do spin-offs? Are they going to do other Halloween films? Probably, and it's just going to be, they'll probably be doing them for the next 50 years, 100 years, I'm sure. So see you on the next one.